Hello, good morning. Well, Zoom has, my webinar option on Zoom has disappeared, so we're back to using my iPhone and being this way up, and that's fine. Today we are doing a session for all families. So anyone, if you are 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 and all the ages in between, or 12 or 14 or 16 or 18 or 45, this session is for you. So get all the family together, and so you be getting your family together, and the other things we will need are some straws, perhaps some string, some old newspaper. I've got some scrap paper as well, just scrap A4 paper or normal A4 paper, and we'll need some sticky tape. Okay, and that's about it. Well, some scissors might be useful, yes, because you need to cut the string, that's right. But only with grown-up supervision, depending how old you are. So I'm just going to be sharing. I give up with Zoom. I'm looking forward to having an alternative, quite frankly. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Right, we're about to start the live. I am just doing a little bit of sharing because I've had to forego Zoom. I think we are looking for an alternative. Enough is enough is enough is enough. I'm just doing a little bit of sharing. Share to a page, yes. Share to the page, sharing to the Bubbly Maths page. Do please like the Bubbly Maths page if you want to. Obviously, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Everything's all right on there. Maybe there's just problems in general at the moment. Family Maths Fun. I'll just call it Family Maths Fun. Family Maths Fun. Whoopsie. And then see if it works this time. Post. Oh, that's working. Excellent. And then we're going to share it on, just share it. Share. Oh, no, that's not on a page. None of the above. That's just me sharing. There's not anybody else sharing. Share. No, it's not letting me. So, oh wait, maybe it will. Sharing a group, sharing an event. That's all right. That's fine. We'll just do that. Oh, if I go to my... Is that where I was? Oh, maybe that's where I was. Oh, that is where I was. Okay, so that means basically I can do a watch party. I don't know how that works, but it seems to... Hola, hello Salome, welcome to this morning. Okay, so I think I've managed to do all the, I've got to start the watch party. So I think I've managed to do all the sharing that I needed to do. And now we're going to make sticks. We're going to make sticks. So there's various different ways of making sticks, and I'm stuck on my iPhone, so it's a little bit more awkward than normal, and you've only got the vertical view. So various different ways you can make, well, let's just start by making sticks. Now, today we've got some high timber, so we're just using newspaper. Take the bad news and make it into good news. How about that? So we're going to just take sheets of newspaper. Now, what you want to do with this is make sure they're all the same size. As long as they're all the same size, we're good. And it is a bit more difficult without my visualizer, so I'm going to kind of do stuff up here. So what we want to do is fold it in half. Now if you want thinner sticks, you could even halve these pages like so, or like do it that way, cut that in half, or use the whole thickness and then that in half. I think I'm going to do that. I don't want to use such large pieces. So basically folding the page in half, or what I just did works as well. and then we're going to fold it in thirds. So this is a great activity for early, for any primary age to do, is folding any item in 3 and getting it right. It doesn't have to be very precise for this, it doesn't have to be, but it's a fun thing to do, and it's a nice skill to achieve. Now what we're now going to do is, make sure I've got enough string on that little bit that I've got ready over there. I'm going to get some string. We want some a nice long piece of string. It's going to be attached to here, but you want nice long pieces on either end, so that when you tie, you're going to tie these strings together, these sticks together, and when you tie them together, you'll have lots to tie so that you can untie them. You tie them in a knot in such a way that you can untie them again afterwards. So what we're now going to do is get some tape. All my tape over here, wobble the camera. I'm going to get some tape, and we're going to stick the string. Let's see if I can just lower the camera so you can see. I'm going to stick the string onto the paper. Can you see that? So that when you're pulling it back and forth, but maybe make that bit a little bit longer. Whee! That's it. Go for a ride. It's very, very top heavy. The center of gravity of my phone has changed dramatically. Let me see if I can give it some more support in front. Okay, maybe a bit more like that. That's probably better, and that way it gives it more surface area to grab to. And then what we're going to do is fold this down inside and that down over the top, so that the rough bits are going to now disappear. They're going to be rolled inside, and then nice tight roll, nice and tight roll, rolled up, and now we're going to close that up. So you can make it much tidier, take a little bit of time about it. I'm just showing you now in the live. So we've now got one stick. We want, actually for this one, I'm going to let you work it out. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I'll show you with these sticks. I'm just going to do a rough version of it. So we've now got, this one isn't quite the same length, so I haven't made enough of these. I've only made the one to show you, so I'm going to use these, which are made with these are scrap pieces of A4 paper, so I've used them, and then once I've finished using them, I'm using them again to make these sticks. So what we're now going to do, I'm just showing you the pile of sticks. Now I'm going to put those away, and I'm just going to do a quick double knot, but it's not going to be too tight. I'm not pulling it super tight, but it does want to be, I'm going to make it so that I can then pull it undone again. And we're going to make another one here. Not that one, not that one. I was using those for different demonstration. Do you see how I can pull that through? I forgot to put the tape on. I forgot to tape the string to the paper. So it does actually make it a lot harder to do the tying together if they are not taped on. So here we go. Oops, I made that quite tight. Not quite sure what I've done there. We're going to find out. I think it's okay. And then the first one wants to be tight, and then the second one wants to be releasable, so that we can reuse, unless you're planning to keep this as a display, as something you can refer to for your home learning. Personally, I would actually love to have, I've got friends who have literally rooms full of math shapes, which for me gives me a lot of joy. If every single sculpture in my house, in my home, was a math shape, that gives me lots of joy. Okay, so that's me. So we've got a triangle. Now, the first thing we can talk about here is that you can make 2D shapes with these, and you can be looking at them. Now this is, it's got 1, 2, 3 edges. And we are going to use the language edges, that's a vertex, that's an edge, and that's a face. And yes, this isn't exactly a face because it's just a skeleton, but if you have a proper 2D shape, it's like a piece of paper. So it would be, have I got, let me just, while I'm saying that, let's do it. Get my newspaper, and we're going to cut out a triangle. How we're going to cut a triangle, all we're going to do is, whoops, all we need is one cut. Whee! It's floating down. Nice bit of air resistance there. That's a triangle. It's got a face. It's got 1, 2, 3 edges. This particular one is a right angled triangle, and it's got 1, 2, 3 vertices. One vertex, many vertices. That's the language I'll be using. Hi, Irena. And I encourage you to do the same, and that way there's no confusion. Have you ever found a confusion whether it's people talk about sides, or which side are we talking about? That side, that side, that side. What's a side? And this is an edge. That's a face. The faces, and here we go. So 3 edges, we've made a triangle. So what today's activity is all about is about regular shapes. So regular 2D shapes, you can have a triangle, a square, where every edge is the same length and every vertex has the same angle. So you can, now, just because these are the same doesn't mean a triangle like this one, every edge doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be a pretty triangle. It can be a rough and ready triangle. Let's see if I can make a really rough-shod triangle here for you. Let me see. Okay, that's not a triangle. I'm just looking for a way to make it nice, and here we go. No, it's actually, it's like the human mind wants things to be nice and tidy. There we go. That's not a straight line. There's a triangle. It's not very, in fact, it's not a triangle. That's not a straight line. It has to be a straight line. Boom. Now that is a triangle, and it's not. It's quite pretty actually. It looks like an airplane. But the point is, it's got 1, 2, 3 edges and 1, 2, 3 vertices, and all the lines are straight. It's still a triangle. It is not a regular triangle. This is a regular triangle. And so if you download the activity, or just look at it on, download it, and the links are in the, I put the links up last night to this activity. You can make all different 2D shapes and explore them, and just, for this particular exercise, we want all the edges to be the same length and all the angles to be the same angle. And if you make them all the same edge, they will naturally end up with the same angle. That's not true. No, they won't. The angles want to all be the same, because triangles will do that, will hold still, but other shapes you will discover might not. Okay, right, so that's with, now that the shape that we're making today is, here we go, down again, for the specific activity we're doing today is, now this is where I know what we're going to do. We're going to tie onto this bow here, and that should do it. I'm doing it in a complicated way so that I can reuse these sticks. And if you're, I would definitely prefer that you reuse them than throw them in the bin when you're done. If you're going to keep them as a shape, then tie them as tight as you like and hang them up. But I don't want to be encouraging people through my activities to be creating rubbish that goes in the bin. And you can always share these shapes with other people. You can make them very, really pretty and give them to other people in your life as gifts if you want. If you don't want to keep them yourself, you could do that. I'm looking for ways to, but ideally you will reuse them, because that's the world we want to live in, is a world where we're reusing. So this is the basic shape. In our basic, hey, you've got more time to do it, and when you're live, I promise you, your fingers shake a little bit, and there we go. So that's the shape we're going to make. Now we're going to make 6 of these. So the first question is, hi Terry, first question is, how many triangles will we have if we make 6 of these? Have a think about that. And then the other question is, how many sticks do we need to make or use in order to make 6 of these? I don't need to, I'm not going to prompt that. You can work it out for yourselves. I'm just going to now show you other different ways that we can make this. You can use straws. So I've taken what's left of my supplies of plastic straws. I'm using them. I want to use them in such a way they are not going to be thrown away. So I'm using and reusing and reusing and reusing. So what I'm doing is I'm creating these shapes out of straws. I've cut them into 3. Again, cutting them into 3 is an exercise in of itself. And now what I've done is I've created, in order to make the shape with straws, I've created a needle out of a straw. And I don't mind having more than one needle, so I'll just show you how I did it. This bit, we don't want the corrugated bit, that I can make that into one of my sticks. So I'll just cut that there. So it's the same length as one of my sticks, and then that, lo and behold, I'll have another stick the right length. Whoops, sorry. I have another stick the right length, remembering that all our sticks want to be the same length. And now what's left of it is longer than the stick. And that's the idea that we want. Now I'm going to cut an eye in my needle. Again, grown-ups, if you're not old enough to use scissors, you know when you are and aren't allowed, please do this with a grown-up. I'm just going to cut off one edge, just a sliver of one edge. So now we have, if you can see that, ooh, it's bright. Ah, there, you see it there? We have a hole just there. It's just a little sliver just there. Now, I'm now going to, starting at this end to make sure I get this, don't cut off the sliver, I'm going to cut the straw in half, making sure that I still have the sliver. There we go, in one piece. Cut the straw in half down the long end, so I could actually make, I could have done the same. I'll see if I can make another one out of the other end. And now we're going to make a point. Yeah. Do it that way, make a point. Whoops, that way. Make a point at the end. Bloop. Now we have a nice pointed needle. I'm now going to thread my cord. Now this is just packing tape. I've never failed to find it anywhere I've travelled in the world. You can use that really rough stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just cord. It wants to be strong, strong enough to be able to be pulled tight. So this is what I use, and it, you know, you can use that really rough stuff. It doesn't matter what you use as long as it'll hold together. So now I've got my needle. Look, I've got my string with one needle on either end. I don't need one on either end. I've just made this one for you. So now we're going to demonstrate how to join my straws together. 1. Here we go. And 2. And 3. So we start off with a triangle. And now that we've got a triangle, we're going to pull it slightly, we're going to pull it this way. We want the long end attached to the needle still. And what we're going to do is we're now going to, the first thing I'm going to do is now, I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to reuse this. I am going to keep this. It's a nice shape. It's going to be very helpful and useful. And I'm going to make this nice and tight before I start threading further. So the next thing we're going to do is we've got to, that's nice and tight. Now we're going to make this shape. Something that quite often happens is that you can get muddled up and you keep coming back to this and having a look at this, because what we don't want is we don't want 2 triangles pointing the other way. It has to be the base in the middle, and it wants to be a rhombus shape. Let's make the shape of a rhombus. Now I've got 2 more straws, 1 and 2. So now we've got to join this to this. Well, we could tie a knot there into that, We could, or we can thread that through, and it makes a stronger joint if you thread it through, hence the needle. And now we're going to tie another knot there to make that nice and tight. And we're going to leave that there, we're going to make another knot there, tie that in a knot, and then actually thinking about it, what we're going to do is thread this through, back through again, so that, because the only way to, the best way, make a little hole in there, thread it back in through, says she with confidence. Okay, so I think the answer is don't tie the knots until you have finished threading. There we go. Still managing it, but definitely, yeah, wait till you finish threading before you tie the knots. Now that's a little bit harder to get through because there are 2 threads in there, through 2 strings, and now I'm putting in through a 3rd one. So pull that through, and now we have, I'm going to cut this off, and now we have a means to connect 6 of these together. I think, oh sorry, I've done that a bit short. 6 of these together to make the shape. Now the other way we can do it is we can use macaroni, just do exactly the same thing. You might want to choose macaroni that has the flat edges, maybe a bit thinner than this, but the same principle. You can still use a straw. And also if you have those little skinny straws, those cocktail straws, I don't, but if you do, that would be a useful tool as well. So you're going to put all those together, and instead of using paper and straws, I'm going to make it a bit of fun. Hopefully you have some fun with this today. I'm going to use my balloons. I get asked all the time, could you please, when are we going to see the balloons? When are we going to see the balloons? Well, today's a balloon day. Here you go. Whoopsie. So I'm making 6 of those. So I'm going to, I'm going to inflate 6 balloons. Here we go. 2. And right, that's pink. And now we'll go for, purple. We'll go for purple. And yeah, hoppa. There we away. Okay. And 3. And pull it nice and tight. And 4. There we go. And it's NHS clapping night tonight. We're going to clap for our healthcare workers, our healthcare workers, and everyone that's all the essential workers, the key workers. So I will take this out tonight, and when I'm finished with it, give it to some child that's out there. Dangle it on the car. Let everyone know that it's available. Right, you go. Are you ready? So what we're going to do is 1. How many edges do I need? And what shapes do I need to make? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Remember, they've all got to be the same length. That's a bit more challenging with balloons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, instead of string, with this, I have little bubbles on my balloons, so I can tie them together. 1. Got 1 blue one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, yeah, more or less. Okay, get rid of that. We don't need that. That's my favourite part. Can't help it. Child at heart and not ashamed to say so. Oh, we got the pink. So how many triangles have we got so far? I have. And how many triangles do you think we're going to have? We're going to join all of these together, and then when they're all joined together, we're going to make another shape with it. So how many triangles do you think we're going to have at the end of it? How many triangles, first of all, we're going to have when I've finished making all these shapes? And you're going to make these shapes out of the straws that we've just shown you, unless you happen to have some balloons and a pump at the house. By all means, you've got some modelling balloons, go for it. Make them out of modelling balloons. Fantastic. Have I got, oh yes, I've lost one on the floor there. So we've now got, I've made 3 of these shapes. How many triangles do I have so far? And how many triangles? What does your instinct say? It's amazing how much we know that we don't even know we know. So, does your intuition, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Right, how am I going to do this? I'm going to make a bubble there. We have a real problem, Houston. We have to inflate another balloon. This happens too. So I have to inflate another one. Hoppa! And if you've got very young people, you can make these, excuse me. If you inflate balloons, that's a great exercise, is to count the pumps and then count down to let go. It's a great way when a child is learning about counting down. I'm playing with a young child on Zoom every day at the moment, and just getting to 3, 2, 1, blast off. We're just at that stage now, and where she's starting to say it. It takes a few days, takes a while. Eventually, the child will start to say it, and then you can go from there. You can go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. Counting backwards is a really valuable activity once they're ready to do it, and you'll know when they're ready. Okay. Oh no, that one's not quite regular. I'm just going to allow it to not be regular, but I'm pointing out the fact that they should be regular. It's a lot easier to make them regular when you have the sticks all the same length. I've got colleagues who do balloons who are like super accurate. Well, I suppose I should be actually measuring it on something. But if I was measuring it on something, you wouldn't be able to see it, and it wouldn't be so much fun. So here we go, nearly done. So how many triangles do I have now? I've got 2 pink ones, 2 blue ones, 1 purple, 1 lilac one. How many do I have? How many triangles do I have? And one more time. Da 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 dee dum bum bum bum, da dee da dum bum, ba da 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 dum, ba dee 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 dum, da 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 dee. Here we go. Here we go. Whoop. There we go. And that's it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these rhombuses, rhombi. If you see the shape of the rhombus, if you need it to be horizontal, see 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's made up of 2 triangles, so that helps you visualize how to work out the area of a rhombus. I wonder if that could be useful. Okay, now we're going to join them together. Now, when you make your shapes, I encourage you to paint them in some way. Show them how they're different in some way, because I'm only going to join the alternating colours. I'm going to purple to blue and then blue to purple. Now, when you join them together, you join them. Now, all this is on the resource. You can see it on the resource. Hi, Tejumade. It's on the resource, which is in the notes above. I put it up last night. And Tejumade, if you could, would you be able to put in the comments the link to the icosahedron puzzle exercise on Aiming High? That would be amazing if you could do that. Tejumade works at AIMSEC, which is the organisation that we support at Bubbly Maths. They provide fantastic, high-quality, life-changing professional development in maths teaching to maths teachers in South Africa and other countries in Africa. And there's the teachers that work in disadvantaged communities and rural areas. They provide that for free, but it's really high caliber training. So hi Samantha, hiya. And these are we're using their resources to highlight, to showcase how amazing they are. Right, now, we're now going to join this one. So there I'm using these bubbles. Now you would be using your paper sticks. As I say, paint them different colours and join them together like this, or you could use your straws. Now the straws are easy. Just get 3 straws of different colours. So that's a good way. That's another reason why the straws would be a great resource. And you don't have to use plastic straws. Use paper ones if you've already got paper ones. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tied together. I was saying that when they join them, you're always joining 3 to 2. The rule is every vertex will have the same number of faces attached to it, or same number of edges. The result is the same. So every vertex, and this is going to be a regular solid. This is a regular 2D shape, a regular polygon. Polygon has many joints, many elbows, and this is going to be a polyhedron, which is a regular shape that has many faces. A polyhedron isn't a regular face, but it's going to be a regular polyhedron, which means that every face will be the same shape, every edge will be the same length, every angle will be the same angle, every vertex will have the same number of edges. So this is a complete vertex. So how many edges does it have? It's got 5. So from here on in, every single vertex will have the same number of edges. Okay, so joining them all together, we've got those 4. Now we've got, don't forget, we've got the other 2. Now we don't want to join them on there, because if we join them all together and make a big circle, that's all we'll have is a big circle. We want to make this into a 3D shape, so we're going to add these on across one of the other shapes. And now that we've done that, we've made like a cross shape. And by the way, Vi Hart, V-I-H-A-R-T, Hart, is the person that somebody introduced this to me in a maths, a balloon modelling friend. He didn't introduce this pattern to me, he introduced the shape. And he says, oh, look at this wonderful mathematical shape that I make. And I then started researching it and looking at a way to make it systematically. And then when I realised it was an icosahedron, how do you make this out of balloons to make it into a workshop so it can be done as a puzzle? And then I discovered Vi Hart, V-I-H-A-R-T. Google it, and actually I'll put a link down here. So credit to Vi Hart for this puzzle. And I did not create it myself. Now your job is to join these together to make an icosahedron. An icosahedron, I'm not even going to tell you how many faces it's got, because once you've done, then my next challenge for you is to actually find a way of counting the faces. Be systematic, and please come back and post on the group. Let us know, send us your pictures of your icosahedron and how many faces it's got, and we want to know how you worked it out. Because to be sure, to be certain that you found all the faces, you have to be systematic. So we want to know how you've done it. Send us a video of you working it out. Send us your thoughts, what your reasoning is. We want to know. Please enjoy. And before I sign off, we would really appreciate it if you would like to, if we want to share this group, if you think what we're doing is of value to you and would be of value to other people at home at the moment with home learning, please do go on your group, go on your profile and write a little referral. So put the group name, so you can copy the URL of the group. I'll put it on here on the comments as well, and then say join this group if you want, if you think it's of value, and tell them why. Just let them know how it will help them and how it's helping you. That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you. And then the other things are, we've got the 2 YouTube channels. All the lives that we're doing here are going on the Bubbly Maths YouTube channel. It's all a work in progress at the moment, but if you please go and subscribe, it's free to subscribe, and then it'll be one of the it'll be easy for you to find it on YouTube. And the other one is Maths Toys. Now, Maths Toys I'm super excited about, because Maths Toys, working with AIMSEC, and every single one of their fantastic resources that are on their Aiming High website, will have its own YouTube video where it's easy to find. There'll be a link from these to the YouTube, and from the YouTube to the resource. It'll be really easy to find, easy to search. It'll be all categorized and systemized. And when you go on the Aiming High, you can follow the link to this one, and then once you're there, just search. You can search for year groups, you can search for ages, you can search for topics. And so if you're looking for ways to really start understanding and be able to help your young learners at home with their maths, these resources, I cannot recommend them enough, which is why we're using them. Makes sense, right? And then the other thing is the AIMSEC Facebook page, and that on the AIMSEC Facebook page, in where I do the links every day. It's on there. You can go there and like it, and there are little memes every single day with a little activity every single day, and just gives you a little bit of inspiration. And finally, I will be soon starting to put up links for fundraising for AIMSEC, because the work they do is really important, and especially in these times where the courses cannot be run live. Usually they have twice a year they have face-to-face courses. Well, the course cannot run in July and end of June when it was being planned. So the course is still going to be run. That's the plan. We're working on the plan, and of course it will be done using technologies like everybody else is doing it. And it does mean that there is an element of struggle with funding. So we are going to start putting up the funding button. I haven't worked out how to do it yet, what to do. If anybody watching knows how to do it, please get in touch if you can help us work out a really powerful way of helping AIMSEC with their fundraising to give free professional development to teachers in Africa for teaching maths, which effectively gives the power to the children, to the learners, to bring themselves out of poverty through education. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. So 10 o'clock I'll be doing the session for early years learners, and then 8 o'clock tonight, at 8 o'clock on the dot, we'll be outside making bubbles. Thank you, Temba. Thank you. Remember, I've been doing this out of balloons. If you came in late at the beginning, if you replay, there's ways of doing it with with paper sticks, and I've shown you how to make them, and with straws, and macaroni, any other ideas that you've got. Please share pictures, share videos in this group. That would be super helpful. And yes, 8 o'clock tonight. First, we'll be doing bubbles, clapping for the key workers that are out there on the front line. And then, so that'll be the first thing. That'll be live on my profile. And then it will come in about 8:10. We'll do the preparation for tomorrow's activity. And tomorrow's activity is for lower secondary. As always, there'll be something for all ages, but we'll be focused on lower secondary, which is ages 11 to 14. And what else? What else is something else? Oh, Grace! How could I forget? Amazing Grace! The wonderful Grace, who has created a game to really, really help with times tables. Now, that's available to people that's not available to everybody, but she has created it, and the reason why she's created it is because, like myself, she is passionate about helping children love to learn maths and really help them be effective in that learning. She's also written a book called Making Maths Fun. My goodness, or Make Maths Fun, I think it's called. So she's coming on tonight with her wonderful ideas, her powerful ideas on how to help people that are having to deal with learning maths at home at the moment and on an ongoing basis, because we know it's a problem on an ongoing basis. So she'll be here at 8:10 tonight sharing her well, the first thing we'll do is prep for tomorrow, and then she'll be sharing her story and her helpful suggestions for you, anybody helping people with maths, learning maths at home, or who are at home helping learners with maths at home. So see you later. Thank you for joining, and I'm going to stop this now. Oh yes, I can do it on the phone now. That makes it easy, doesn't it? That's at least one thing that's easier. Bye bye. Thank you.